everybody, Dr. Chris from Human 2.0, and today I'm going to talk about exercises for the prevention and treatment of bunions. First, one of the things that we want to do is to engage the intrinsic muscles of the feet, because these muscles do not often get a lot of activity because we wear shoes most of the time, and so these muscles are very sedentary and they don't do much. So we want to engage those muscles. We want to wake them up. And there are a number of intrinsic muscles in the foot that have a number of functions. So one of the things that we can do is we can work to create what is called a short foot, which is where we squeeze the ball of the foot towards the heel of the foot. And if you notice, if you look at the arch of my foot while I do this, you will see what happens. So when the foot is passive and these muscles are not engaged, we have a flat foot. But when I engage these muscles, basically squeezing the toes back towards the heel, then I create an arch. And this causes the tibialis posterior to contract and to shorten the arch of the foot and raise the arch of the foot. And so we can do repetitions of this movement to engage and to train this muscle. We also need to work on some of the other muscles of the foot. Some of the other movements that they control are dorsiflexion of the toes and plantar flexion of the toes. So we can work to dorsiflect the toes repeatedly, trying to keep the rest of the foot in a neutral position. And we can, again with that gripping movement, work to plantar flex the toes against resistance. Lastly, we can work to abduct the toes and spread the toes apart from one another. And this is one of the movements that people are going to have the most difficulty with, because we rarely, if ever, do this, because our feet are confined in our shoes. So we can work through those exercises doing 3 to 4 sets of 5 to 10 repetitions of each of those exercises. And we can do that for both feet, and this will help to wake up and engage the muscles of the foot. Another exercise that we can perform, which will help to engage and activate the muscles of the feet, is balancing. To start, you can just balance on your foot with a slightly bent leg. To increase the difficulty, you can bend the knee and come lower to the floor. You can increase the lever on the other side, put it to different areas in front or to the side of you to make it more difficult. And if you really want to raise the difficulty level, you can close your eyes. And while this exercise may not look like much, this will really turn on the muscles of your feet and the muscles around your ankles as you struggle to keep yourself balanced and to keep your other foot from touching the floor. So the last thing that we want to do is we want to work on the soft tissues in between each of the toes, because oftentimes those soft tissues are constricted and tight because they have been confined in our footwear. So what we want to do for this is we actually want to work on spreading the toes. And the way that we'll do this is to take our fingers and spread them manually to make increased space between each of the toes. And when you first do this, this is probably going to be pretty irritable or sore, because those soft tissues are going to be quite tight. And basically, we want to spread those soft tissues, spread those toes apart, get our fingers in as much as we can in between those spaces. Ooh. And then we want to work to rotate the toes in one direction and then the other, just so that we can stretch those soft tissues. Yikes. And as I said, there is a little bit of irritability. It'll be a little bit sore when you do this. But if you can withstand that initial discomfort and hold that position, the soft tissues will stretch out and you'll start to decrease the tension in between toes, allowing the toes to perform the roles that they were designed to do. And that is when the foot is on the ground to create the 3 points of the tripod. The little toe, big toe, and the heel. The 3 points of the tripod which help to support you when you stand. So today we've been going over some exercises for the treatment and prevention of bunions. That's Dr. Chris signing off from Human 2.0, where we build better humans.